Arthur Smith has been released as Falcons head coach, in 7-10. There's now 4 active vacancies for NFL head coaching positions.
Yeah, I'm going to focus on what I am going to control and focus on, and that's, my work ethic and my, effort to do what I can to help the Patriots organization, which I'm heavily invested in.
If you happen to be a fan of a struggling NFL franchise, today is a day that you happen to look forward to. It's referred to as Black Monday, and it's the day that a lot of cleaning gets taken care of. A lot of head coaches and general managers tend to get fired on Black Monday. And in some cases, we even find out as soon as it turns 12 a.m. Eastern time. Such was the case of Arthur Smith. But there is one situation that is more delicate than others. This is referred to as the very first domino to fall that can determine the rest of the offseason for a majority of franchises. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to make sure you're up to date with the latest and greatest NFL news. Now that we get all that out of the way, we made $1,100 off of a $20 entry on Prize Picks. And it wasn't just me, it was everyone that followed these picks on my Instagram story. And the best feeling is the amount of people that made money as a result of this. I mean, bam, 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 bam! My DMs were flooded, so the best part for me was seeing you guys make money as well. But we're not done yet. If you haven't signed up for Prize Picks, use my promo code Mikerophone to double your deposit up until $100 on Prize Picks. And I give away my picks on a daily basis for free on my Instagram story and now my Snapchat story. We're having so much fun doing this. I'm so happy that I made you guys some money. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and Drake London all had a celebration last night because the individual that refused to use all of these top 10 draft picks finally got fired. Last night we found out that Arthur Blank announced that he was immediately firing Arthur Smith and wanted to go in a completely different direction. To be honest, I'm not even a fan of the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm happy about this. We were watching generational talents in Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson being used the worst way possible in Atlanta. I mean, you literally had a once-in-a-generation type tight end on your offense, and you decided to use him as a blocker for Tyler Algier. That is not good coaching. The best part is when he was fired, almost immediately after, the NFL Network cut away to a FedEx-sponsored top players ad.
Arthur Smith, the first one to be fired, at least right after Week 18. This is not nice. It's the FedEx Airing Ground Players of the Week for the guy.
When we woke up this morning, we found out additional interesting news. For example, something that we were all expecting, the Washington Commanders finally decided to move on from Ron Rivera. And interestingly enough, they're deciding to bring in Bob Myers to help run their franchise. Now, we don't really know what Bob Myers' role is going to be with the Washington Commanders, and it's really interesting because if you follow us on the Flight Mike basketball channel, you would know that a huge reason why Bob Myers left the Golden State Warriors, which he is the architect of the Golden State Warriors dynasty. For those of you guys that don't know, he was responsible for trading for Andre Iguodala, hiring Steve Kerr, luring over Kevin Durant, and his decision making is clearly unprecedented. It resulted in 4 NBA championships for the Golden State Warriors, and probably the most impressive part is he knew when to walk away. He stepped down as general manager this past offseason. The Golden State Warriors have been a mess ever since. I don't think it's because he stepped down. I think he just saw what was to come. So now he's heading to the Washington Commanders. Meanwhile, the Washington Commanders are letting the entire world know what they're planning on doing. At this point, they've already requested interviews with Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn for their head coaching job. Josh Harris put out a very classy statement on the Washington Commanders and Ron Rivera, whereas Bob Myers himself put out this statement saying, "I have been fortunate to know Josh Harris for many years, and his commitment to building championship caliber teams is what drew me here. In my experience, championship infrastructure begins with a strong ownership ownership group that prioritizes culture and invests in attracting the industry's most talented and innovative leaders. And speaking with Josh and his team, it's clear that they will do everything it takes to build out a world-class organization, one that can win on the field and make a positive mark in the DMV community. This is the type of opportunity that really inspires me, and I look forward to contributing to the next chapter of this storied franchise. I would say that the Washington Commanders have a very bright future, and this is coming from a Dallas Cowboys fan. The Washington Commanders are our rival. They currently hold the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. There's so many options here. They have $80 million in cap space. They set themselves up to go into this year with the opportunity to completely turn this franchise around. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Houston Texans-like turnaround from the Washington Commanders based upon the decisions that they've made. But that's not the only team that has a huge decision to make. Las Vegas Raiders had a resurgent season upon firing Josh McDaniels and getting behind Antonio Pierce. Each and every week you would see the Las Vegas Raiders smoking cigars to celebrate their victory, and a lot of Raiders fans may have reminisced during the Rich Bisaccia year, where Derek Carr and Rich Bisaccia were able to take this team to a playoff berth. And once again, it seems like the Las Vegas Raiders may not want to bring back Antonio Pierce. At least that's not their number one option. As according to Jordan Schultz, it seems like their top option is an individual that is coaching in the national championship game tonight. So reportedly, the Raiders' top target is none other than Jim Harbaugh. But I think Jim Harbaugh is doing the same exact thing that John Gruden was doing when he left the NFL the first time. I think he's just trying to drive up the price as much as he can so he could secure a big contract from Michigan, or he could get a team to pay heavily for his services. Mark Davis historically has shown that he would do whatever it takes to get a blue chip head coach, famously signing John Gruden to a 10-year, $100 million contract. And I wouldn't be shocked if he did the same thing with Jim Harbaugh, but at the same time, Commanders and the Chargers are interested in Jim Harbaugh, so that's not even close to being the biggest storyline in regards to a head coach this offseason. All year long, we were talking about the fall of the New England Patriots. Anything that could have gone wrong for the New England Patriots has gone wrong. They brought in Bill O'Brien, hoping that he could really unlock Mac Jones's fullest potential, but Mac Jones took a colossal step back. Many mock drafts even have the New England Patriots taking a brand new quarterback in the first round of the NFL draft. Upon the New England Patriots' final game of the season, many were wondering what the future of Bill Belichick was going to be. Many reports suggesting that the New England Patriots are an absolute mess. So when Bill Belichick's season ended, he was asked what his future was going to look like. And according to Ian Rappaport, he said, obviously things need to be fixed. He says he's under contract and he will do what he always does to help the team. As far as any decisions or direction for next year, it's way too early for that. There's two directions that this could go. Either the Patriots part ways with Bill Belichick, or Bill Belichick stays with the New England Patriots. Now, according to Ian Rappaport, Bill Belichick even stated that he'd be open to relinquishing personnel control if that collectively was viewed to help the team. At the age of 71, I think that's very wise. I don't think parting with Bill Belichick is necessarily the answer here. At the same time, I don't think a 71-year-old man who has done a remarkable job constructing teams in years past is necessarily capable of both facilitating a rebuild while also coaching the New England Patriots. And he's made a lot of boneheaded decisions. He wanted to keep Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator despite it being a disaster. He's had multiple misses in the NFL draft, except last year he did a masterful job at maneuvering the NFL draft. But if the New England Patriots were to move on from Bill Belichick, according to Schultz report, Mike Vrabel is very interested in the idea of returning to the Patriots should New England part ways with Bill Belichick. Now, Bill Belichick was also asked if he would be surprised if Robert Kraft decided to move on from him, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, I'm going to focus on what I am going to control and focus on, and that's, my work ethic and my, effort to do what I can to help the Patriots organization, which I'm heavily invested in.
But at the end of the day, if Belichick was to move on from the Patriots, the Atlanta Falcons are a team that would potentially be interested. The Carolina Panthers were checking in on Bill Belichick as well. Personally, I think the Los Angeles Chargers are a slam dunk fit, but even the Washington Commanders would make a lot of sense. Again, this is a team that for the most part is constructed decently well. The bones of the Washington Commanders is good. The ownership group of the Washington Commanders is good. They just just brought in Bob Myers. They have $80 million in cap space. They have the number 2 pick in the NFL draft, and they clearly have the core in place to help Bill Belichick make those football decisions. When Bill Belichick was asked about whether or not he would like to coach another team, he said he didn't want to discuss hypotheticals. At the end of the day, the only thing I know for sure, and this isn't based off of any source, this is just based off of gut feeling, if the Denver Broncos needed to trade for Sean Payton, then any team that wants Bill Belichick will have to trade for Bill Belichick. The Patriots aren't going to give up their head coach that is currently under contract just for free, and it's going to be a very amicable breakup. At the end of the day, this is the greatest head coach in New England Patriots history, quite possibly the greatest head coach in NFL history. You're not just going to give him up for free just because he had a couple of bad seasons once he needed to facilitate a rebuild. I think the Chargers and the Commanders are the 2 top contenders if Belichick wants to leave. I think both rosters make a lot of sense. I'm kind of giving the edge to the Commanders because Belichick will have an opportunity to shape the team in the way that he sees fit. They already have great wide receivers. They have an opportunity to draft any quarterback that they want. They have a ton of capital, and now we just have to sit back and wait to see what the decision is. Let me know in the comment section down below, where do you think Bill Belichick is most likely to go to? If you're a fan of the Raiders, who would you want the Las Vegas Raiders to hire, or the Panthers, or the Falcons, or the Los Angeles Chargers? This offseason is shaping out to be a very interesting one, and we'll make sure that we keep you guys covered on this channel. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.